Now we've talked about the Uvalde shooting from the standpoint of the failure of leadership and law enforcement. I want to talk about the incident from the failure of men. Yes, why didn't those officers just say screw command, run in there and take care of the shooter? There are three things that I believe happened in that situation. There is a natural fear of being hurt or killed when bullets are flying. That's understandable. Got it. Dig it. Been there. There is also, from a law enforcement standpoint, the hesitancy of doing anything because law enforcement has been super vilified over the last 4+ years. So there's that. As a law enforcement officer, you don't want to be the one who takes action, gets blamed for taking the wrong action, and your life is turned upside down. And then there is the societal thing of toxic masculinity, when just being a man is now considered toxic. When, as a man, going in there gung ho Joe Rambo can be seen as this negative thing. Well, I believe that if those things are removed, this incident would not be the debacle that it is. I say again, the person most responsible for the 21 lives lost on May 24th in Uvalde, Texas, at Robb Elementary School is the shooter who shall not be named. Fuck you, you get no fame from me. Burn in hell. I just thoroughly believe that, as my brother Frosty and I agreed upon, that there are times in life where y'all have heard the phrase, it is better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. That was one of those times. Because there was a DPS special agent that showed up 20 minutes after the shooting started, with officers already in the hallway with rifles and ballistic shields. I am going to read to you what he said. When he got on the scene, he immediately asked, are there still kids in the classroom? If there is, then they just need to go in. That's what he was telling one of the officers on scene to tell the other officers. Just go in. Another officer answered, it is unknown at this time. The agent shot back, so y'all don't know if there's kids in there. If there's kids in there, we need to go in there. The reply came, whoever is in charge will determine that. I'm just stunned at that statement. Whoever's in charge. Apparently no fucking body's in charge. That's when you take action on your own. That's when it is okay for you to take independent action. Because that agent did, as he said. Well, there's kids over here, he said, so I'm getting kids out. Y'all have the tools. You have your shields. You got your long guns. Go get that ass. But why? Fear. I get fear. The problem is that now fear on several different levels has now taken over any form of masculinity. Any trace of testosterone has now been replaced by fear. That's not what's hot. That's not what's cool at all. That's because in the news, in society, in television, everywhere you look, being a man is being a bad guy. The fact that you got a dick and balls makes you a villain. They even have different terms. Don't mansplain. What the fuck is mansplaining? If any individual notices, I'm talking to those that have had girlfriends, are in a current relationship, married. Women hear shit way different than men. There is no mansplaining. It's explaining. And if it seems as if they're talking down, it's because we know how women hear shit. We have to make very precise, very basic explanation because we also know that's another rant. The point of that is, I had to stop myself, y'all. The point of that is, being a man is not a bad thing. The problem is, we let society tell us that being a man is a bad thing. There is no toxic masculinity. That's masculinity. If a man is being an asshole, that is on that man. He is the asshole, not all men. So no, fellas, take your balls back, put your dick back on. There is no toxic masculinity. There's only masculinity. There's being a man, and then there's not being a man. Because I take those things, toxic masculinity, mansplaining, shit like that, I take personally. I tell any woman that I go out on a date on, baby, I am a Neanderthal. I am a caveman. I still hold and believe in traditional values and gender roles. I still open doors for ladies. I still do a lot of very old school man things. And fellas, don't let society tell you that that shit is wrong. You would be absolutely surprised by two things. Number one, how many women didn't know that those things were actually a thing? You know, opening the doors, taking women out on dates. You know, when you're walking on the street, the man walks closer to the street while the lady's on the inside. Old school shit, you know. And two is how many women miss it. How many women crave an old school man, an old school take charge lead man. It is very disappointing to me that I see more women standing up for children in the classroom than men. Now, understandably so. In an old school traditional role, you did have the mother that was more involved in the schooling of children than men. But with the sexual depravity attacks going on our children today, we definitely need more men to step up, because I guarantee you that if a man got in one of these drag queens' faces and told them, you better not bring this shit to my kid, there wouldn't have to be multiple meetings behind it. There wouldn't be, we got to talk about it again at the next meeting. No. You get a man to stand up at somebody's face, it's understood. Now we better stop this shit right where it is. All that goes back to the Uvalde shooting. You have to, beyond any shadow of a doubt, you have to stop letting people, I'm talking to the fellas here, you have to stop letting society tell you that it's wrong to be a man. If you were raised with some old school beliefs that don't hurt anybody, then it's okay. Now, I'm not talking about those dudes that were brought up and raised up to, oh, it's okay to knock your woman around. No. If you are a man, you understand that your role as a man is to provide and protect, not mistreat and abuse. Now, I'm talking about those men that like to, for example, I would not let my now ex-wife pump gas. That's a man thing. I was raised that way by my grandfather. My mother, single mother, raised me. If I was with my mother, she wasn't allowed to pump gas. As a man, that's my thing. It irritates the hell out of me to see dudes at gas stations, passenger seating in their woman car while she get out, go pay for the gas and pump it. Man, get your bum ass up. Men are lacking now. And we're lacking because we have let society push us into caves. Metaphorically, of course. We have excused ourselves from masculinity. We hide our testosterone. We are afraid to lead. We let everyone else, we are letting the minority control the majority. Because as I said earlier, y'all would be shocked to see how many women want and miss that old school type of guy. So fellas, to all the good men out there, all the men in hiding, all the men that are hesitant to be men, as my boy Michael Jordan said,
Stop it. Get some help.
it's okay, fellas. Put your pants on and go out there and be a man. Be chivalrous, be respectful, be brave, be leaders. That's going to do it for this segment of Free Mind Thinkers. If you like what you heard, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to hear more of it, go ahead, hit the subscribe while you're at it. And please feel free to comment on anything that you hear. And as we always say here at Free Mind Thinkers, listen less, learn more. Don't forget that you can find us on all your social media platforms: Getter, Gab, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. And we are podcasts on several media platforms. Make sure you check out full episodes there in the podcast section or wherever you may get your favorite podcasts. Until the next time, y'all stay up.